The big event, the class awakening ceremony, is happening now. It is the year 2624 at the Second Academy in Lijiang City, where many students are gathered for this important day. Liu Heng, the headmaster of Lijiang's Second Academy, steps up to explain that this first awakening will decide a person's future. He warns students not to rush into changing combat classes, as summoners and engineers need lots of money to sustain themselves. Meanwhile, some students are excited, hoping to become a strong monster-killing berserker, while others prefer a calmer role like pharmacist. One student mocks the one wanting to be a pharmacist, saying they are just scared of fighting. Then, the narration goes back to explain how things changed in the world. Many years ago, a virtual reality game called Eternal appeared, giving people an extreme high from killing. Because of this, more and more people started playing Eternal. Then, one day, everything changed forever. The world experienced a massive event where a huge green light shot down onto the city. In the sky, dark, monstrous creatures with wings appeared, flying over the buildings. A giant, glowing figure emerged from a gateway, while below, powerful monsters with fiery energy looked ready for a fight. The world's surface expanded hugely, and countless monsters and other strange races poured out from secret realms. The scene shows a terrifying wave of fiery skulls and demonic creatures rushing forward. Normal people on the street are seen running away in panic from the chaos. The narration confirms that Eternal has merged with the real world. In the city's streets, terrifying, monstrous forms are emerging from fiery, rocky formations, scaring the few people still around. Now, everyone can level up and change their class to get stronger and fight back against the monsters. A heroic figure in shining armor is shown fighting fiercely against a horde of ugly monsters. The main character, Ji, stands firmly, having transmigrated into this world 1 year ago. He recalls that his mother passed away when he was very young. Later, his sister Zhuyun got a strange, incurable disease, and even low-level priests could only keep her barely alive. His sister lies in a hospital bed, her legs glowing with blue energy, being tended to by nurses. To pay for her treatment, Ji had to sell their house and borrow money from relatives who look down on him now. But that money is just a temporary fix. If the disease's root cause is not found, his sister will always be close to death. The medical fees keep going up, and his part-time job income is not enough anymore. He knows what he must do next. Juyu believes he must awaken a combat class to earn money in the dangerous maps and find a high-level priest for his sister. The class awakening ceremony is about to start, calling students by number. The mage demonstrates his staff, which glows with bright purple energy, showing he is already quite powerful. The mage activates the magic formation with a strong purple light, gathering energy. Everyone is shocked by the level 24 mage result, and some people react strongly to the impressive display. Ji watches the successful awakening, noting that a mage hosting such a ceremony can earn a huge amount of money, making it a very profitable job, which he clearly needs. A teacher from the 5th class, Lai Zhangyan, calls for number 1, Sheng Chang, to step up. Students respond as their names are called, raising hands to show they are ready. Juyu watches as the ceremony begins, focusing on the magic formation setup. There are thousands of classes one can awaken, but only 3 types show up during this ceremony, and he looks at the crowd of students waiting. In this world full of monsters, combat classes are the most respected, while life-type classes are looked down upon. Someone complains that one of the previous awakenings was not even a combat class, calling it rotten luck. The expectation is that about half the class will get combat classes, and the enchanter is seen as the best potential among the 3 possible types. Then, the next student, number 2, Liu Chang, is called. The announcer keeps calling numbers 3 and 4, moving through the list. Finally, number 31, Ji, is called up to the stage. As he steps forward, the light catches the unique cross necklace he wears. People encourage the class representative to do his best, while others think that even though academic scores matter, anyone can become a dark horse in this uncertain world. Ji, the class representative, walks towards the formation. People expect the class rep to get a nice class because his stats and grades are good. 2 teachers, Lai and Tang Tianjun from the 6th class, chat about their results. Tang's class already has 16 combat class awakenings. Tang brags that his class already has 21 combat awakenings and even a rare class, fulfilling their yearly exam quota, which clearly annoys Teacher Lai. Teacher Lai notices Ji is not moving yet and wonders what is wrong, questioning if he failed to awaken a class. Juyi stands in the formation, feeling a strange purple energy surge around him. He wonders if it's his necklace that is causing this strange reaction. The necklace, which he bought cheaply in his previous life, suddenly glows brightly as if activated. The energy around him intensifies dramatically, turning a bright yellow-orange. Ji is shocked as a strange flame-like energy streams from his mouth, showing something big is happening. System messages start appearing, system energy detected and system activating. A golden screen announces the completion of the loading and then pops up a huge message. Strongest class support system has activated the rookie starter gift, S+ grade talent protection of the sacred angel. Would you like to receive it? Ji wonders if he's seeing a system. Ji rubs his eyes, making sure he is not dreaming. He realizes with wide eyes that he actually has a system now, and his hand moves over a glowing inscription on the floor. He remembers buying the necklace in his previous life and how it traveled with him when he transmigrated. He had given up on the necklace being special, but now it has activated the system and given him a great gift right on time. The system gift is the protection of the sacred angel S+, which greatly increases his affinity with light-type skills and makes them much stronger. He looks at the icons for talents, realizing that talents are graded F to S, and better grades mean better effects. More importantly, the system tells him that the 3 classes appearing in the awakening ceremony are strongly connected to the talents a person possesses. Back outside the formation, everyone is confused and whispering because Ji is just staring into the air, with some speculating he couldn't awaken any class at all. The teachers look concerned, as such a long pause hasn't happened in centuries. Suddenly, a massive explosion of golden light erupts from the formation with a loud sound. The golden energy spreads everywhere, filling the area with brilliant light. Students look up in shock, and the teachers realize this isn't just a regular class awakening, it's a talent awakening phenomenon. The golden light forms a vertical pillar, and a figure with huge, beautiful white wings and a halo appears at the top of the light. The light continues to stream down, intensely bright. Juyu stands at the base of the light beam, looking up at the angelic figure descending. The huge angel figure comes down, shedding white feathers, while Juyu stares up with wide, glowing eyes. The angel figure, wearing a blindfold but radiating light, leans down towards Juyu, with feathers floating around them. The crowd watches in awe as the magnificent angel hovers above the shocked Juyi. The angel reaches out a hand toward Juyi, telling him that the light is his belief and the source of his power. A bright, sun-like symbol forms in a golden light behind the angel. The angel, with many wings and a glowing halo, tells Juyi that under the support of his belief, the sacred light will always be there. The angel continues, saying the sacred light will protect him and burn away all evil, reaching out one last time. As the light envelops him, Juyi feels the presence of the angel, and a golden phoenix-like shape forms in the light above him. Juyi stands bathed in the golden light, looking determined, with the background showing normal apartment buildings, contrasting the magical event. He closes his eyes, feeling the power surge, and hears a voice promising to always stay by his side. Juyi opens his eyes, which are now glowing with yellow crosses, accepting the power as the golden necklace shines beneath his chin. The golden energy intensifies around him with a deafening sound. Juyi is completely engulfed in a powerful golden aura, screaming as the transformation or awakening takes place. The golden light fades slightly, leaving only glowing particles. 3 shining figures appear in the brilliant golden light. A witch-like figure, a robed figure, and an armored figure. Juyi looks up at the 3 figures, realizing what is happening. The onlookers are amazed, calling it insane luck to receive a new talent at the awakening ceremony, especially one called Protection of the Sacred Angel. The teachers are confused, admitting they have never seen these class symbols before, and students eagerly ask Teacher Lai to identify them. Teacher Lai, looking stunned, struggles to speak before shouting that these are hidden classes. The 3 figures are clearly the awakened classes, the Mage of Light, the Sacred Priest, and the Saint Knight, all shining brightly. Juyi looks serious, processing the names of these 3 potential classes. He stands with his back to the audience, facing the silhouettes of the 3 powerful light-aligned figures. The narration explains the Mage of Light is a pure DPS class but lacks self-protection, making them vulnerable to monsters. Next, priests have life-saving and resurrection skills, but their combat power is too weak, making them too reliant on others. The Saint Knight, however, is described as an all-encompassing class with defense, offense, and buffs, with the armored figure kneeling and holding a massive hammer. Juyi realizes that even though the Saint Knight isn't the best in any one area, his light affinity talent perfectly suits this class, making it the best choice for him. He is ready to accept the class as a huge golden blade seems to strike down. The armored Saint Knight stands tall, holding the weapon, while a sound effect echoes. The Saint Knight stands dominant, and Juyi is seen looking up from the platform, next to the giant golden figure. The word humility appears near the knight's armor. The virtues associated with the class appear: humility, honesty, bravery, and empathy, shown through dynamic poses of the light figures. The final virtue, responsibility, is highlighted as the female knight figure swings her weapon powerfully. The light explodes as the virtues are completed, with someone shouting in amazement. The final purpose is revealed: to commit acts of glory, to pursue justice and cause for your life. As the Saint Knight looks down at Juyi, Juyi confirms to himself this is a Saint Knight as the golden energy flares around him once more. Juyi stands on the awakening platform, surrounded by massive waves of golden power. The focus is on Juyi's determined lower half, showing the intense golden energy flowing through him. The light violently bursts outward from Juyi. A final confirmation message shines: congratulations on awakening the Saint Knight class. Juyi stands transformed, fully armored as a magnificent Saint Knight with massive wings, and in the final close-up, his eyes glow brightly, ready for action. The young man knew that even with his academy training, facing real monsters was a whole different level of danger. He decided it was time to fight back and focused on gaining stat points for his foundation. The young man realized that even though he trained a lot, real monsters were much different from what he learned in the academy. He decided it was time to fight back, knowing he could not look down on even a low-grade monster. He realized that even after all his training, fighting real monsters was a different experience. Now was the time to fight back against the monster that was coming toward him. The monster's sharp claw comes down fast, looking like a blur of motion. The young man felt that even a low-grade monster was dangerous, and it was time to fight back. He was thrown back and cried out in pain after the monster struck him. He realized that even though he trained a lot, fighting real monsters was completely different. The young man felt a strong shock as he was hit, with dark liquid splashing from his torso. He realized that even with academy training, real monsters were much different and he could not afford to be careless. The character finds that their body is much more agile now, and their jumping power is stronger too because of the increased stats. They feel energy boiling inside their body, which is the change brought by the added stat points. The monster let out a screech as it raised its massive clawed hand to strike down. The young man knew this was his first real fight against a monster after training. The fighter realized that even with academy training, real monsters were a different challenge. It was time to fight back seriously against the incoming threat. The young man realized that his academy training was different from fighting real monsters, so he knew he could not underestimate even a low-grade one. He prepared himself to fight back, knowing that stat points and skill points were important foundations for his class strength. He felt energy boiling inside his body, realizing this was the change brought by the stat points. He understood that strength was the top priority, with constitution coming next, because only enough power would allow him to kill monsters more efficiently. The characters swung with great force, creating a bright, glowing cross shape with their weapon as they struck downwards. The sound effects emphasized the heavy impact of this powerful attack. The student expertly dodged the monster's attack, showing much better agility and jumping power due to the stat point increase. He felt energy boiling inside his body, confirming the positive change from adding those points. A bright golden light showed a description for a skill called Blade of Pure Weight Level 1, which used light-type magic to freeze enemies. The scene then cut to someone being thrown back forcefully with a look of shock on their face. Even though the monster was not a carnivore, it became violent when it met humans, attacking with roars and sharp claws. This was the first time fighting a real monster, so the person decided to try killing it without using any special skills first. Character checks the details of his skill, Tiger Pounce, which involves grabbing an enemy and running forward to crash them into obstacles for extra damage. As the character lunges forward, the ground cracks and explodes from the force of the impact. The sound of intense impact echoed as the wall cracked and golden debris flew apart in a bright light. The fighter felt a surge of power, realizing his increased stats made his body much more agile and strong. The earth shook and large pieces of rock flew everywhere as a loud sound echoed. The character noticed his body felt much more agile and his jumping power was stronger due to the increased stats. The fighter realized that despite his training, fighting real monsters was a different kind of challenge. He decided it was time to fight back, planning to use his extra stat points for the best immediate advantage. The monster lets out a loud roar as it charges forward. The main character notices that his body is much more agile, and his jumping power is stronger due to his increased stats. The character realized his body was much more agile and his jumping power was stronger now due to his increased stats. He felt energy boiling inside his body, recognizing the change brought by the stat points. The monster lets out a fierce roar as it is struck by powerful yellow light attacks. The creature's rocky exterior begins to crack under the force of the bombardment. The character felt the energy surging inside him after adding the stat points. He knew this was the right path for strength, prioritizing it over skill level for now. The person finished the trial by killing the ancient rabbi monster and received a score. This accomplishment seemed to have given them a great sense of achievement. The system presented the individual with a choice of rewards, featuring 10 extra stat points, new Saint Knight skills, or random Saint Knight equipment. The individual decided that 10 extra stat points were the best choice for now, as skill level increases were not a priority. He thought that strength was the most important thing, followed by constitution, because more power meant killing monsters more easily. He could feel energy building up inside his body from the added stat points. The student realized that his body felt much more agile and his jumping power was stronger because of the increased stats. He could now feel the energy boiling within him, which was the change brought by the stat points. The character was exiting the trial grounds, indicated by a glowing message on a screen. This suggested that a phase of testing or fighting had just concluded for them. The character felt his body was much more agile, and his jumping power was stronger too because of the increased stats. He knew this was the change brought by the stat points he gained. The hero realized that even academy training was different from fighting real monsters, so he steeled himself to fight back against the creature approaching him. He decided that since he was not rushing to increase his skill level, gaining extra stat points was the best choice for his foundation, and a handy weapon would help in the upcoming trials. He looked at the time on his phone, which reminded him that it was 5 o'clock and he needed to go to the hospital. This reminder seemed important enough to be set as a direct prompt on the screen. He was careless, realizing that academy training was nothing like facing real monsters. It was time to fight back, and he knew that extra stat points were the best choice right now. The news spread that a student had awakened the rare Saint Knight hidden class, which had not been seen in the city for 50 years. Someone then called out the name Ji-yun. The young man realized he was too careless in the fight, learning that real monsters are much tougher than academy training. He decided to use his newly gained stat points for offense, as skill levels could wait, and also received a useful weapon as a reward. The young man realized that even though he trained at the academy, fighting real monsters was a different matter, so he needed to fight back now. He decided that for now, extra stat points were the best choice since he was not in a hurry to increase his skill level. The student, realizing the danger of real monsters compared to academy training, decided it was time to fight back. He focused on increasing his stat points, believing them to be the best foundation for his class strength, and hoped a new weapon would help with upcoming trials. The aggressive nurse scolded the young lady for her rude words, insisting this was a hospital. The young lady quickly tried to explain that she had been misunderstood. The man sneered at the nurse, telling her that poor people should just accept their fate if they cannot pay. He then called out to Miss Nurse, suggesting her sharp mouth might get her into trouble at the director's office. The man in some voices asserts that he overheard the nurse insulting patients. He then warns the nurse about her sharp tongue and suggests she might be saying those things in the director's office next. The nurse looked very angry, feeling that the people approaching were not good types. She firmly told Ji-yun that the medical fees needed to be paid that very day. The young man asked the newcomers who they were, wondering if they had come to ask for payment. He worried about the rising medical fees his older brother had to cover. The individual introduced himself as a friend of Ji-yun's older brother and handed her a business card. The card identified him as Secretary Zhao Wenbing. The student had finished fighting the monster and now remembered the information about its habitat. Rabbis monsters mainly lived in mines and became violent when they met people, even though they were not naturally carnivorous. The chapter introduction appears with glowing text describing a level above the ordinary, as Saint Knight. It mentions the story is adapted from a novel about becoming the strongest Saint Knight after everyone reincarnates. The system displayed a glowing notification congratulating the student on awakening the Saint Knight class at level 10. Below that, another message listed the skills received, like Blade of Pure Will. The class representative was complimented by his classmates, who then asked if they could join him for the final exam as backup. A teacher told Ji that he did a good job and asked him to rest before coming to the headmaster's office the next day. Other students crowded around, eager to join the winning team for the final exam, but someone told them all to move away. The teacher then praised Ji for doing a good job and told him to rest and come to the headmaster's office the next day. The teacher praised Ji for a good job and told him to rest before coming to the headmaster's office the next day. Juyi thought the teacher's happy face looked a bit scary while surrounded by talk of hidden classes. The character realized that even after academy training, fighting real monsters was a completely different experience. It was time to fight back seriously, focusing on gaining stat points as the best immediate choice. The young man realized that after awakening, not only had his stats increased, but he also possessed unassigned stat points. Strength was the main priority, with Constitution coming next, because having enough power meant he could kill monsters much more quickly. He decided that strength was the most important thing, followed by Constitution, because only with enough power could he efficiently defeat monsters. He could feel a new energy surging inside his body, which was the result of adding those stat points. A sound rings out, signaling something important is happening right now. Below, a bright golden interface suggests a system notification or power level update is displayed. The system showed his updated stats with a score of power at 26, Constitution at 20, Agility at 18, and Intelligence at 16. He could feel the energy stirring inside him from the newly added stat points. He could feel a powerful energy boiling inside him now, recognizing this intense feeling as the result of the stat points. This transformation felt incredibly good. The system detected that the host used stat points for the first time, which activated the Saint Knight mission. This was a huge reward opportunity that the character felt they absolutely had to take. The young man realized this was the common story setup where completing missions brought rewards. Seeing the great prize, he decided he absolutely had to accept the challenge. The student knew this was a huge reward opportunity and decided this mission must be completed. He remembered learning that rabby monsters mostly live in mines. He knew that in real fights against monsters, academy training was not enough. It was time for him to fight back and be ready for the coming challenges. The match concluded, and a message appeared showing the required task was to kill a grade E ancient rabby monster. The character reacted with surprise at the mission objective. The trial seriously warns that dying within the test means dying in real life. Golden glowing cubes, likely rewards, streamed down in a bright light. Glowing boxes floated in the darkness, suggesting some kind of reward selection was about to happen. The system presented the choice between receiving stat points or random equipment for the upcoming challenges. Even after training in the academy, fighting real monsters was very different, so he knew he couldn't be careless about even a low-grade monster. He braced himself, knowing it was time to fight back and that stat points and skill points were the key to his class's strength. Even with training, real monsters are different from the ones in the academy, so he cannot look down on this low-grade monster. It was time for him to fight back, thinking about how the attack was coming toward him. The character recognized the location as a mine, recalling that ancient rabby monsters primarily live in such places. He noted that while these monsters are not naturally meat-eaters, they become violent toward humans. The narrator explained that while these monsters are not naturally eaters of flesh, they become violent and bloodthirsty when they meet humans. These creatures have low intelligence, attacking with loud roars and claws sharp enough to cut through rock. The character noticed the monster's properties, learning that rabbis mainly live in mines and become violent when they meet humans. He decided this would be his first real monster fight, attempting to defeat it without using any special skills. The character felt the power surge from his increased stats, noting his body was much more agile and his jumping power was much stronger. He was eager to fight this monster for the first time without even using a special skill. The young man realized his body was much more agile, and his jumping power was much stronger now due to the stat points. He decided to try and defeat the monster without using any special skills for this first fight. The person realized that even after training, real monsters were much different, so they could not underestimate even a low-grade one. It was time to fight back and use the stat points he gained to get stronger. Juyi came back from paying the bills and found out that 10,000 yuan had suddenly appeared in his sister, Xiao Yun's, hospital account, making him wonder what was happening. As he entered the room, a man in a suit, who was sitting with Xiao Yun, stood up and greeted him, while another person also showed up. Juyi asked who these people were, looking surprised to see the man standing before him. The man introduced himself as Zhao Wenbing, the mayor's secretary, saying he wanted to discuss some important things with Juyi. Juyi knew the mayor was the most powerful person in Zhonglai City, and his secretary held a lot of power too. Juyi wondered why someone so important was looking for him, and Zhao Wenbing suggested they move to a better place for their talk, shaking Juyi's hand. Juyi agreed to move, and Zhao Wenbing told the other person to stay with Miss Zhu as he and Juyi were leaving for a moment. While Juyi and the secretary were leaving, the girl with Xiao Yun got excited and asked if the others saw the news about a hidden class appearing at the second academy. Another person chimed in, saying the hidden class holder was named Ji and showed a photo leaked from their school. The group in the cafe agreed that Ji looked quite handsome. Back with Ji and the secretary, Zhao Wenbing congratulated Ji on getting the S-grade talent protection of the Sacred Angel and awakening the Saint Knight class, saying it wasn't just luck. The mayor was interested in him and even stopped the media from bothering him. Zhao Wenbing then revealed that the mayor prepared cultivation resources for Ji for the upcoming exam, handing him the only key to the city bank vault where they were stored, and asked if he had any other requests. Ji thought the mayor believed he could become strong, but knew this help came with a future expectation of repayment. The secretary then mentioned that a professional medical team would now serve Ji 24 hours a day, and the mayor had even arranged for a level 36 second-grade priest to come to Zhonglai City to heal her. Ji appreciated the mayor's help, especially for his sister, and the secretary replied it was just customary. The secretary then left them, and Ji turned to his sister, who was now sitting up in bed. His sister, Zhao Yun, asked what that meant, looking hopeful. She cheered for her brother, saying he was going to the top and asking if she could stick close to him like an accessory. Ji told her to stop joking and focus on recovery. Then she asked about his exclusive skills for the Saint Knight class. He explained he had 3, Blade of Pure White for attack, Slow Recovery for healing, and Weapon Blessing for support. Ji mentioned that slow recovery could restore life points and decided to try it on his sister. He placed his hand on her head and golden light enveloped them as he used the skill. Zhao Yun felt incredibly comfortable, like she was in a hot spring getting a full body massage. She dreamt of this comfortable feeling, and when Ji asked if she felt better, she was clearly enjoying the sensation. Zhao Yun happily said her pain was gone and her hands felt warmer, calling him amazing. Ji explained that besides strength, he chose Saint Knight because it was a supporter class that could at least reduce her pain, even if it couldn't fully heal her. The next day, the headmaster informed Ji that dozens of universities had called to recruit him, almost breaking his phone. The headmaster told him to fight for as many resources as he could, mentioning that 4 teachers from the top 10 universities were among those calling, and being recruited by them meant the best future training. Ji asked which universities were interested, and the headmaster listed Ramyang University, Chu and Nan University, and Jai University, and Han Chang University. Ji then asked if the top 3 universities were not among them, and the headmaster explained that the top 3 only recruited based on exam results and never offered special admissions based on talent or class. Ji then asked Old Zhao, who must be the secretary, if he used a fighter jet to come from Chu and district, which was 4,000 kilometers away from Zhonglai City. Zhao replied he used the super long-distance teleportation array, which was very expensive to use. Gao insisted there was nothing he wouldn't spend for a genius like Ji and declared that Chu and Nan University would be taking him, saying they should let their skills talk. The headmaster led Ji to meet the waiting recruitment teachers. The teachers introduced themselves, Mr. Zhu Tanfu from Rongyang University, Mr. Lai Bing from Chu and Nan University, Mr. Yu from Han Chang University, and Mr. Yu Yuan from Enjai University. Ji greeted them all politely by bowing. Ji bowed respectfully to all the recruiters. Mr. Zhu Tanfu from Rongyang noted that Ji wasn't arrogant despite his hidden class and seemed like a good, humble kid. The recruiter from Rongyang then decided to get straight to the point and explain their university's offer. Rongyang University offered 2 million yuan and 3 Saint Knight exclusive skill books upon admission. Ji compared this to a regular family's income and noted that even the mayor hadn't given him resources of this level. The recruiter from Rongyang mocked their own offer as stingy, while the teacher from Chu and Nan University immediately raised the offer to 3 million yuan, plus 3 Saint Knight skill books a year, taught by a level 56 tertiary awakened knight. The representative from Enjai University was shocked by the level 56 teacher, realizing the unparalleled benefits of becoming his disciple. Representative from Han Chang University said they didn't have much admission money, only 2 million, but if he joined them, she would immediately give him a B-class cultivation resource. She explained at the mention of a B-class cultivation resource, which was something money couldn't easily buy. The teacher from Rongyang loudly urged him to say yes, emphasizing that B-class resources could train even pigs into the strongest monsters. The recruiters asked Ji what he chose, and he calmly stated he had decided to decline all special admissions. The teacher from Han Chang was shocked and asked why, telling him to calm down. Ji declared that he wanted to enter the top 3 universities instead. He explained that among the top 10 universities, the top 3 Sukang University, Qingjing University, and Modu University were the most praised in the country. These top universities only recruited 1,000 students yearly, and they didn't just limit entry to humans but also other races like elves and giants, noting that entering was incredibly hard because other races were naturally stronger. The teacher from Rongyan laughed loudly, calling Ji an ignorant brat, pointing out that he lost too much in his first 18 years and lacked the resources, resulting in weak stats. The teacher, Zhao Tanfu, released his powerful aura, stating that despite Juyi's current strength, he would still be at the bottom if he somehow got in without focused training. Juyi felt the powerful aura, but thought that the old him from yesterday would have immediately knelt down. He stood firm, realizing even with his hidden class, he wouldn't get far in the top 3 without focused training. The headmaster Liu then stepped in, asking Yao Tanfu why he was bullying his student on his grounds. Zhao Tanfu unleashed his purple energy, confronting the headmaster, who was emitting blue energy, asking what the meaning of this was. Miss Juyu from Hanchang University noted that Juyi could withstand Zhao Tanfu's aura for more than 3 breaths, which was quite extraordinary. Zhao Tanfu dismissed the headmaster's defense, stating that student recruitment looks not just at potential but also at attitude, and with Juyi's attitude, he would amount to nothing even if recruited. Zhao Tanfu and the other recruiters then left, with the headmaster asking him to give the lad one more chance. The headmaster admitted that while Juyi was braced, Zhao's words about the difficulty of entering the top 3 universities, given the competition from other races, were true. Miss Juyu commented that she hadn't seen such strong and resolute eyes in a long time, reminding her of her fighting days. She felt she had grown too stable in a peaceful environment compared to this hot-headed young man. Ji stated that he had 1 more month until the exam and was sure he could raise his strength to a horrifying degree with his system's help, vowing to prove his strength in the exam and definitely enter one of the top 3 universities. Miss Juyu smiled, saying she looked forward to his results and they would meet again. 1 month later, the exam day arrived, and the crowd was nervous, worried about the examiner known as Demon Yang, who had set a record low average score 2 years ago. The students were buzzing with anxiety, and then someone spotted Juyi arriving. The crowd whispered, saying that even the top genius of their district wouldn't dare claim to enter the top 3 universities, wondering how Juyi could. Gossiped that he was arrogant for rejecting special admission and that he would lose everything by relying on his hidden class. Some lamented that he rejected millions in admission funds, calling it unfortunate, just as they noticed Ji approaching. When someone asked where he was, Ji appeared, radiating a powerful aura that made him look different. The observers remarked that Ji felt different than before, sensing a change in him. Ji stood before the large, glowing blue teleportation array, ready for the exam. The exam begins with the opening of a map to the secret realm deep inside the dark forest, which allows up to 5 members. People gathered watched the portal, wondering about the terrain inside, like if there would be a swamp. They discussed the tough monsters like cat monsters and minotaurs, noting that the maximum party size being 5 this time showed the difficulty, unlike the usual 3. An instructor shouted serious warnings, reminding them to use the return scroll if they face death, because dying in the map means dying in real life. The countdown hits 0, and the time is up, leading the instructor to yell for all examinees to get ready. Everyone reacts as they prepare to enter the trial area, under the swirling blue energy. Finally, they are told to enter the map, and many individuals start teleporting into the dark forests. The camera shows the details of some examinees entering, like Sun Kang, a warrior, and Mo King, an assassin, both challenging the hard difficulty solo. Other parties are shown entering as well, including a trio of elemental mage and gunmen, and then the focus shifts to Ji, a saint knight, who chose the nightmare difficulty alone. There is a group of 4, including a swordsman and a fire mage, entering the hard difficulty, and the observation continues that besides 2 parties, everyone else went in solo. A girl in the audience excitedly points out Ji, while others explain that going solo means more experience and better scores. But only seniors with elite classes dare this risky move. Juyu stands in the dark forest, surrounded by many pairs of glowing red monster eyes lurking in the shadows. It is confirmed that Ji, a class 5 Saint Knight, is challenging the nightmare difficulty all by himself, which has a high 40% death rate. Back with the observers, Director Jan Tao is very agitated, looking at a display showing Ji's solo nightmare challenge. Director Jan expresses his shock that Ji, a powerful Saint Knight who would be an ace in any party, chose to go solo, especially on the nightmare setting. Headmaster Luo is informed that the city council provided Ji with many resources for a good result, and failure, especially his death, would severely damage the local government's reputation. Director Jan argues that Ji's solo attempt is ignoring the government's efforts to support him, but Headmaster Luo calmly suggests that Juyi is not reckless and probably has a secret plan. The scene cuts back to the dark forest, now filled with the intense, glowing red eyes of unseen enemies. A quick flash of movement and a purple sound effect indicate an enemy attack is happening fast. Juyi's intense green eyes appear as he summons a glowing, golden book or item, getting ready for the fight. He focuses his power, golden light enveloping him and his weapon as he prepares to strike, wearing a cross necklace. The golden light intensifies as Juyi readies his move, while below, a monster is seen rushing him. A fierce pink cat monster lunges at Juyi, but he notes the timing is good as he prepares his attack. A close-up shows the terrifying detail of his heavy single-bladed axe, glowing with power. Juyi shouts die, as a massive wave of golden energy erupts from his strike. Information about the single-bladed axe, a bronze 2-star weapon, is displayed, showing stat boosts that are enhanced further. The shot focuses on Juyi's tightly wrapped hand gripping the glowing axe handle during a powerful swing. The sheer force of the swing creates blurring lines and flying debris as the axe cuts through the air. The golden energy blast completely dominates the frame as the attack lands. Juyi stands after the initial attack, looking cool with some blood splatters around, his stats showing high points that equal a much higher level, making him a top examinee in his district. He stands ready, telling an approaching enemy that he will come over if they are not attacking, while he has a determined look. His Saint Knight skill, Weapon Blessing LV4, is shown to condense holy light and boost the attack power and accuracy of teammates nearby. The axe itself is shown wreathed in intense golden light, ready for another swing. He swings the axe, unleashing a huge yellow energy slash toward the incoming cat monsters. The effect of his S+ grade talent protection on his exclusive skill, enhancing the axe strength by 21 points, makes the onlookers jealous of such a strong buff. As Juyi swings his axe, it is noted that even though the exam limits weapons to below 3-star bronze, his buffed axe is equivalent to a 5-star bronze weapon, giving him a huge edge. Surrounded by more monstrous cat creatures, Juyi focuses, calling his skill Blade of Pure White, confident that his stats set him apart from everyone else in the exam. Multiple system notifications flash as Juyi levels up his Blade of Pure White to LV5 grade C repeatedly through his actions. The onlookers are amazed at Juyi's precise timing, as he used his Blade of Pure White skill at the exact moment an attack was about to land. Juyi, energized, stands ready, explaining that his upgraded Blade of Pure White skill deals powerful light element damage and can instantly kill low-level monsters with his current buffs. A massive red graphic emphasizes the power of Juyi's attack as he strikes a monster amidst the golden glow. The observers are shouting about how amazing and dominating Juyi is with his pure strength display. One person wonders if Juyi put all his free points into strength, as the axe seems light in his hands, even though it's usually very heavy. Another person corrects him, pointing out that Juyi's speed is even faster than the cat monster, and his rapid magic use suggests a high intelligence stat too. The observers note that Juyi's control over angles, speed, and slash strength makes him look like a combat genius, leading one official to wonder why such a talent is in Class 5. An official admits Juyi has a strong combat mindset but criticizes his methods as unwise for wasting stamina on the first wave of monsters. They worry because the nightmare difficulty brings not only strong monsters but also large quantities, which drains even excellent mages' energy reserves. The officials fret that the heavy axe will exhaust Juyi after hundreds of swings, making him too weak to hold it. They foresee him eventually being torn apart by the cat monsters because he won't have the strength left to even hold his weapon. The scene shifts to a terrifying visual of a large, enraged monster roaring loudly while many shadowy figures with red eyes appear below. The next wave arrives, consisting of several powerfully built cat monsters of various colors, all looking vicious and ready to attack. The observers panic, realizing the next wave is already here, with hundreds of cat monsters attacking without letting Juyi rest, and they question if he can handle this onslaught. As the monsters attack, Juyi unleashes another massive golden swing with intense sound effects. He spins, creating a giant arc of golden energy with his axe, striking multiple targets at once. Juyi focuses his power, his eyes glowing, readying another intense magical strike. He jumps through a huge explosion of fire and yellow energy, taking out many of the incoming monsters in a decisive move. More intense sound effects emphasize the powerful destruction caused by his attack. A closer look at the impact shows his axe connecting powerfully with the monster, surrounded by bright light and sound effects. The detail of the axe head, looking like a glowing wheel, is shown hitting something solidly. Another strong sound effect marks the end of a successful blow against the overwhelming horde. Juyi stands amidst the golden light from his attack, his weapon over his shoulder, ready for the next wave. His axe connects with another monster with incredible force, marked by a sharp sound. After clearing some enemies, Juyi stands silhouetted, holding his axe ready as the remaining monsters collapse around him in the dark forest. More massive energy bursts show him continuing to fight off the attackers with powerful swings. He looks determinedly towards a swirling mass of intense blue energy, a clear portal or entrance, while more energy flows towards it. He approaches the bright blue energy source, his silhouette visible against the powerful light, with a new armored figure briefly visible in the background. Juyi stands before the blue energy, confirming that this is the entrance to the next level. The blue energy field pulses around him as he prepares to move forward. The blue light swirls and seems to consume the space as he steps through. The scene dramatically shifts to a much darker area where a huge crowd of shadowy figures with glowing red eyes and flaming cat-like monsters stand menacingly. Juyi walks forward with his powerful axe on his shoulder, facing the massive new challenge emerging from the smoke and darkness. The host on the live stream welcomes everyone, ready to show the examination of the most popular top student from the second academy, the S+ grade talent holder, the Shining Saint Knight. The student's examination is about to begin, and the audience is eagerly watching the screen. It is revealed that Juyi finished the first wave of the Nightmare Map with amazing speed, taking only 3 minutes and 17 seconds. The host is very excited and asks the crowd if they realize how big a deal this is. The crowd is shocked because 3 minutes and 17 seconds is 29 seconds faster than last year's top achiever. Someone tries to block the camera, but another person tells them not to. Some people recall Director Zhan advising against wasting stamina on a first wave, but the results show Juyi is clearly pushing hard. A girl named Jiang Feifei tells Mr. Lai to watch properly, believing Director Zhan wouldn't lie. Mr. Lai wonders if his excitement is that visible, while Jiang Feifei continues to smile widely. Suddenly, the news comes that Senior Zhu has entered the next stage of the examination. Juyi steps into a dark, wooded area where various monsters are waiting for him. The next wave of enemies is introduced, featuring a silver-grade Minotaur, which is tough and has skills like Berserk and Wild Rush. Alongside the Minotaur are light cat monsters acting as healers, and fire cat monsters acting as mages, all bronze grade. There are also dark cat monsters providing curses. Juyi assesses the situation, noting the classic team composition with warriors, healers, and mages, topped off by the high-damage silver-grade Minotaur. He notes their teamwork, with buffs and healers working together, calling it not bad for an organized enemy group. He uses his evaluation technique, realizing this second stage is much riskier than the first, like facing trained soldiers instead of scattered bandits, with the risk of death increased 100-fold. The group of minotaurs and cat monsters charges forward menacingly. The monsters make their aggressive sound screams and roars as they rush toward Juyi. The minotaur lunges forward with a powerful impact sound that shakes the ground. The fire cat monsters unleash their fire attacks, surrounding the area with intense flames while Juyi watches, seemingly unaffected for a moment. A dark energy is shown near Juyi's hand and then wraps around his body as he looks determined. Dark tendrils, likely from the dark cat monster's curse, begin to bind Senior Zhu's legs and body. The spectators worry that Senior Zhu is now cursed by the cat monster. The crowd panics, shouting that he is in danger as the monsters rush him with fire spells. Juyi is momentarily caught by the dark tendrils, but he stares down, a dark shadow creature appearing to counter the curse. Juyi seems to comment on the monster's formation, observing the warriors rushing, mages applying buffs, and healers assisting, noting their decent teamwork. Meanwhile, the spectators look worried. One of the fire-wielding cat monsters attacks with its fiery power. Juyi channels energy in his hands, his eyes glowing intensely yellow as he prepares a powerful move called Cross of the Sacred Light. He brings his hands together, channeling a bright golden light, which then explodes downwards in a massive cross shape. The golden light forms a huge, blinding cross that radiates immense power. The light bursts out with great force. The immediate area is engulfed in a brilliant golden flash, affecting all the cat-like monsters who cry out in pain. The Minotaur and other monsters are caught in the intense light and rapid movement. The scale cross of the sacred light at LV4 grade B is described as summoning the sacred light to form a cross that causes continuous light elemental damage to all nearby enemies. Juyi stands calmly amidst the white smoke and glowing yellow light of the cross, having defeated the surrounding low-level monsters, leaving only the Minotaur standing. A close-up shows one of the defeated green cat monster's hands weakly grasping as the observers exclaim how powerful he is for killing the low-level monsters instantly. Someone in the audience questions why a Saint Knight, typically a support class, is showing such overwhelming offensive power. Another person identifies the skill as a grade B area of effect AoE skill, showing a diagram of skill grades from S down to E. The observer explains that skills are graded from A to F, with S being highest, and the government resources provided could only secure a grade C skill at best. He wonders how Ji obtained a grade B skill, concluding that Ji is much more complex than they thought. Ji, having dealt with the lesser enemies, strikes the ground with his weapon, creating a massive wave of golden energy aimed at the remaining Minotaur. Looking intense and powerful, Ji tells the last enemy to come closer, ready for the final confrontation. The Minotaur King, now looking much larger and purple, prepares to fight, displaying its skills berserk and superior body. The Minotaur King uses its skill War Stomp, and Ji dodges its powerful move with a quick movement. Ji's attack, perhaps from his weapon, sends a powerful vertical energy slash that cracks the ground deeply. The ground shatters as the Minotaur King roars in agony from the strike. The skill Wild Rush is mentioned, noting that due to the Minotaur King's superior body effect, its charge cannot be interrupted, and Ji is moving into strike. Ji uses the skill Air Slash, performing a sweeping cut. The slash connects with a massive impact sound, showing the sheer force. Another skill, Blade of Pure Light, is activated, shown as a bright vertical line of light hitting the monster. The Minotaur lets out a final, weak sound as Ji's attack connects strongly. The Minotaur is clearly reeling from the blow. Ji, holding his weapon firmly, looks ready to finish it. Ji lands a powerful stomp on the stunned Minotaur, commenting that it has a thick skin, implying it took a lot of hits to bring down. The final blow lands, sending the Minotaur reeling backward with another loud impact sound. The Minotaur King is shown defeated, bleeding from its eyes and mouth. Ji stands over the fallen boss and asks if it is still alive. As he prepares for the next move, stepping toward the structure in the background, he steps down forcefully onto the creature, causing a huge impact effect, ending the fight completely. A large sphere of blue, crackling energy appears as Ji looks on, having completed the second stage. The defeated Minotaur lies broken on the ground, and Ji notes that the next area should be the boss room. The audience erupts, amazed that he knocked down the 4-meter-tall Minotaur with a single swing, even while it was under the berserk effect. The spectators cheer wildly for Senior Zhu, praising his awesome combos and expressing their admiration. The host excitedly reports that the second stage took only 59 seconds, which is less than a minute, calling the performance impressive and highlighting Ji's perfect timing and control over his strength. Headmaster Luo is congratulated by another person, who notes how hard it is to believe Ji only awakened his class a month ago, predicting he will bring the second academy great renown. Another man, seemingly from the board, agrees that it is time for their academy to have an elite student, pointing out that the best performance from the second academy historically only reached 721st place in the entire district. This man expresses hope that Ji can lift the second academy to a new level. However, one man questions why Ji didn't rest before entering the boss room. The first man explains this is outrageous, worrying that not recovering status properly will cause a huge loss if he faces disadvantage later. The other man advises patience, saying Ji must have his reasons. It is explained that in the highly populated Sukang district, to enter the top 100 ranks during the nightmare difficulty test, one must pass within the shortest time possible, as shown by the shiny medal for the top 100. Many hands reach up, hoping to achieve that top 100 ranking. Ji stands before the grand entrance to the boss room in the dark, imposing structure, ready to face the final challenge. Using his evaluation skill, Ji identifies the final boss as a Minotaur King level 16, gold grade, but his skill level is too high to check, noting it is the King of Minotaurs. The Minotaur King, purple-skinned and menacing, speaks, challenging the human who dared step into his palace. The Minotaur King warns Ji that stepping into his domain means preparing for death. Ji moves quickly, dodging the Minotaur King's attack, while an intense impact sound signifies the start of their battle. As they clash, a series of divine buffs appear around Ji: Blessing of Dawn, Gift of Courage, Gift of God, and Gift of Protection. The buffs continue to activate, surrounding Ji with golden light, even as the Minotaur King glows with angry red eyes below. The Saint Knight appears in full golden armor, addressing the boss as Little Cow and declaring, "I'm over here." With all buffs activated, the Saint Knight is now in their initial combat form, ready to fight the king. Intense golden energy flares up around the Saint Knight. The Minotaur King looks furious as the Saint Knight, glowing brightly in gold armor, prepares a strike. A close-up shows the detailed golden armor of the Saint Knight as the light radiates intensely. The Saint Knight, in shining armor, stands against the enormous, enraged Minotaur King. The Saint Knight raises their glowing golden weapon, about to deliver a decisive blow to the Monster King. The fight against the Minotaur King was intense, with powerful golden light flashing all around. The hero noticed that even his strong axe attack, boosted by 4 buffs, could not pierce the monster's tough skin. The Saint Knight armor he wore was really saving him from getting completely broken during the exchange of blows. Even after taking a hard hit, the hero was ready for his next move, since he planned this trade of hits. The Minotaur King roared loudly as it prepared a massive, dark purple counterattack. Purple energy charge moved towards the hero, who was looking up at the massive incoming attack. The hero was holding his weapon, and then the purple energy slammed down into the ground, creating a huge shockwave. The impact caused the ground to shatter, and another bright flash indicated a counter-strike hitting its target. The hero was thrown back by the powerful force, tumbling downwards toward the ground. The purple Minotaur King, looking very angry, was moving fast, seemingly getting ready for another assault. The hero's long cape streamed behind him as he prepared to use a glowing purple light from his weapon. The weapon's strikes echoed with loud noises as it repeatedly hit a hard, angular surface. Despite the powerful blows he received, the hero was relieved that his Saint Knight armor protected him from shattering his bones. He knew what to do after trading blows, naming his next move the Spear of Victory. The hero unleashed his move, which involved throwing many glowing, yellow spears toward the enemy. The skill description showed it was Spear of Victory LV3 Grade C, which threw spears of condensed divine light that dealt high damage to anyone hit. These numerous bright attacks surrounded the Minotaur King as it stood firm. The Minotaur King charged forward, trying to dodge the incoming yellow projectiles. Hero realized that the Minotaur King was much stronger than him in strength and constitution, so overpowering it was not possible. He thought that normally people would try to win by wearing the monster down slowly, but that would mean losing first place in the exam. The hero figured that most examiners would not set up a fight with no solution, so there must be another way out, noting the Minotaur King's lower agility compared to his own. He planned to attack rapidly from many different directions to put the strong monster in a difficult situation, and he was also running low on mana. The hero knew that the Minotaur King had high endurance but was more vulnerable to damage and negative effects when attacked, prompting an explosion of yellow energy on the monster. The Minotaur King was staggered by the powerful hits, and the hero thought he must use many high-damage skills quickly before his mana ran out. Seeing the monster reeling, the hero declared that it was his chance to strike a decisive blow. He prepared for a massive attack as the yellow energy intensified around the enemy. A system warning popped up about low mana, reminding him that he needed to use this big move perfectly or fail the exam. The hero worried that if he didn't manage his mana right, he would run out before he could finish off the Minotaur King. He admitted that he did not want to use such a huge move, but he felt there was no other choice left. He launched himself forward in a bright flash toward the large purple figure. It was a moment of silence after the blinding light faded. Suddenly, a system message appeared, congratulating him on finishing the Nightmare Difficulty Deep Dark Forest Dungeon with a time of 9 minutes and 24 seconds, thus completing his college entrance exam. The hero stood leaning on his weapon, looking exhausted but successful in the bright light. The screen then showed his clearance grade was SSS, making him the first person to clear that map, causing the hero to look utterly shocked. He confirmed his success, shouting happily that he was officially first place in the Sukang district. He thought back to when he first transmigrated, remembering the burdens he carried, his mother's passing, his sick sister, heavy debts, and his sister Zhu Yun's medical costs. All these responsibilities weighed heavily on his back, but even with low stats and low talent, he refused to give up. He resolved that if he couldn't increase his stats, he would keep practicing his combat skills and strengthen his fighting spirit. The appearance of the system gave him a second chance, but he believed his fate was still in his own hands. Looking at an angelic figure in his mind's eye, he vowed to work harder than anyone else to seize this opportunity, his resolve firm. With his heart unshakable, he decided it was time to go back from the dungeon. He activated a large blue energy field to transport himself out. The system notified him that he received 5,212 EXP, 20 free points, and 20 skill points, increasing his level from 10 to 13, and he earned the item Forest Belt, which gave continuous buffs in forest areas. Next, he received the Forest Ring, also requiring level 10, giving stat boosts and recovery buffs in the forest, plus 10 wild strawberries that recover some mana. Finally, he obtained the Minotaur King's card, a gold-grade item usable for enchanting to increase item strength by 20. He stood surrounded by glowing blue cubes as he returned to reality. As he reappeared, people in the audience cheered, welcoming him back and shouting their adoration. The crowd was ecstatic, calling him their god and praising his amazing achievement of clearing the nightmare difficulty in under 10 minutes, an honor for the Second Academy. As the praise washed over him, the hero looked slightly uncomfortable with all the fuss, only managing a small nod. An elder announced that based on his experience, Juyi had the potential to become the Sukang district's first place, making the hero smile faintly. The hero humbly told the elder he was overpraising him, just as a flashy blue car with flight mode capabilities zoomed into the venue, shocking everyone. People recognized the expensive S400 car, worth a house in the capital, as it sped to a stop. The driver of the expensive car stepped out to meet the hero and an official, Director Zhan. Director Zhan told the hero that the results would take at least 3 days, but promised immediate notification, while another elder advised him to rest and wait for good news. Following that talk, Zhao Wenbing kept his word and arranged for Zhiyun to be in a deluxe hospital suite with 24/7 monitoring. The hero arrived at the hospital to visit Zhiyun, ready to share his good news. A nurse greeted him, noting that his exam must have gone excellently, and pointed to a calendar, mentioning the results were due soon. The area around them suddenly became very cold, with light blue frost appearing. The nurse looked concerned, asking if the air conditioner was set too low because of the strange coldness. The hero realized what was happening just as a system notification declared that the 26th floor had arrived. The nurse cried out in shock as the entire area instantly froze solid, encasing them in ice. Massive shards of ice surrounded them, forming a harsh, frozen landscape inside the room. A terrifying, large icy figure manifested, and the hero looked on with intense focus. The hero yelled out his sister's name, Zio Yun, as he saw the nurse frozen in place, trying to protect herself. The nurse was trapped within a large block of ice, and the hero heard a loud bang. As something shattered, the ice structure broke open, and the hero, holding his axe, shouted Zio Yun. In alarm, he stood ready with his weapon as the cold, blue energy intensified around him. A giant, spectral blue dragon head appeared in the icy mist, roaring loudly. The hero looked up, seeing his sister, Juyun, trapped inside a large ice block above him, with glowing magic runes surrounding another figure nearby. Suddenly, Zio Yun's cold power flared up, freezing everyone around her in ice with a loud crack. The freezing energy spread out, showing a massive, icy dragon shape forming in the air. Then Zio Yi focused his power, glowing with golden light, trying to counter the massive cold. A woman yelled at Zio Yi to stop attacking, clearly worried about the situation. The icy dragon form loomed large, and someone noticed that if they attacked carelessly, Zio Yun's heart might break. Zio Yi clenched his fist, determined to use his power despite the danger. He then asked the woman, who was channeling green energy, about Sis King, perhaps checking on her status. More visuals showed the intense clash between the ice and the characters' efforts. The narration explained the danger. Zio Yun's heart could shatter if they were not careful. Zio Yi asked in shock why there was a dragon appearing in the middle of this situation. It was revealed that Zio Yun's cold disease suddenly went crazy, freezing everyone. Sis King, looking strained with yellow eyes, was putting all her effort into holding back the cold energy. She told Zio Yi that the best she could do was keep the cold on that floor and urged him to leave quickly. Zio Yi, worried about Zio Yun, was told by Sis King that without a high-level priest, she could only suppress it this much. Zio Yi accepted the situation and agreed to leave. He then addressed the system, deciding to use his resources for an immediate upgrade. He commanded the system to use all his skill points to upgrade the slow recovery skill. Zio Yi stood surrounded by a burst of golden energy as the skill upgrade happened. The skill upgraded to Slow Recovery LV4 and Slow Regeneration LV10, which would gradually recover health and mana for teammates nearby. The system confirmed the use of the enhanced Slow Regeneration ability, showing the power radiating out from him. Zio Yi stood firm, enveloped in powerful golden rings, maintaining his hold while healing. The woman, presumably Sis King, watched with wide, shocked eyes as the healing magic was unleashed. She realized that the healing magic from the Saint Knight was incredibly powerful, even better than what a level 23 priest like her could manage. Zio Yi continued channeling his golden healing energy over the frozen form of Zio Yun. He told Sis King to go inform Secretary Yao immediately to quickly invite a high-level priest. Sis King replied that the high-level priest's schedule was full, with the earliest appointment being next week, so calling now wouldn't help in time. Xiaoyi then made a serious promise. If Secretary Zhao could call a high-level priest right now, he would do one thing for him unconditionally in the future. Sis King paused, considering his offer, before turning to leave the immediate danger zone. She agreed with a simple okay and ran off, while Xiaoyi remained tending to Xiaoyun. It was explained that Xiaoyun had been suffering from this cold every night for the past year, causing her intense body pain. Xiaoyi knew the cold was getting worse, but he hadn't realized it was severe enough to affect the outside world like this. He strained, pushing his golden healing power against the spreading blue frost affecting his hands. Outside, the ice dragon's influence was visible, freezing parts of the tall city buildings, showing the spread of the cold aura. Xiaoyi looked concerned, with traces of ice starting to form on his own face and body, showing the strain of containment. The massive ice dragon roared, towering over him as he continued his efforts. The green healing energy from Sis King's earlier spell was still active, trying to counter the ice. A blast of green energy struck the ice dragon's mouth, causing a brief shockwave. More green magic lashed out, hitting the icy structure around Xiaoyun, creating chaos in the freezing spell. Below the action, Xiaoyun lay still, appearing distressed and deeply affected by the cold. Xiaoyi, now partially covered in ice himself, yelled fiercely at someone not to touch his sister. Following that outburst, Xiaoyi launched himself forward with incredible speed, propelled by a bright green beam, breaking through the ice. A new figure appeared, a woman dressed like a nun with striking light blue eyes, beckoning him to come closer. She stood amidst the green magic, holding a long staff, clearly powerful. The nun stood firm as the massive ice dragon spirit roared above her, seemingly unaffected. She brought down her staff with great force, aiming at the ice structure. A huge burst of energy erupted from the point of impact, pushing back the blue ice energy. The nun was seen channeling complex green runes through her staff, focusing her power. She commanded someone to go, while maintaining her powerful stance against the ice. A close-up showed the tip of her golden staff embedded in the green energy field. The green sealing energy was visibly struggling against the intense blue ice power that was trying to break free. The nun's eye glowed intensely with green light as she exerted immense effort. With a strong thrust, the nun attacked, sending another powerful green wave toward the ice. Her weapon moved through the air, surrounded by bright green magical circles impacting the base where Xiaoyun lay. Xiaoyun remained unconscious on the ice slab as the intense magical battle raged around her. A strong burst of ice energy seemed to push away from Xiaoyun's body briefly. Xiaoyun then slowly opened her eyes, now surrounded by a soft green glow, and wondered if the ordeal was over. The nun asked, "It's done?" and then addressed Ji, saying she had heard about him. The green healing/sealing magic continued to radiate, affecting the people who were previously frozen. The nun introduced herself as Chui Lai Na, a level 35 secondary awakened priest from Qingyun City, and Xiaoyi politely greeted her. Chui Lai Na mentioned that Director Zhan specifically asked her to treat his sister in advance. She added that if Director Zhan hadn't told her about Ji's potential to take first place, she wouldn't have broken the rules to come so quickly, noting that his fighting against the cold seemed to prove Zhan right. Xiaoyi asked Miss Chui what disease his sister had and if it was curable. Chui Lai Na explained that the leaking cold energy solidifying into a form was a sign of bloodline awakening. Xiaoyi reacted strongly to the term bloodline awakening, as the narration began explaining the concept. When the Eternal game started, many players chose non-human races, and when the game merged with reality, those players gained traits from those bloodlines. For example, elven bloodlines gave green eyes and long ears, while giant bloodlines allowed humans to grow very tall. However, after 200 years of intermarrying with humans, these bloodline traits and powers gradually diluted over generations. This changed with a special condition, bloodline awakening, which could bring both good and bad luck. A successful awakening meant controlling the power of other races, multiplying level and learning ability, but failure meant paralysis or instant death. Chui Lai Na explained that Xiaoyun was suffering because her human body couldn't handle the power of the awakened bloodline. She guessed Xiaoyun awakened a rare freezing bloodline and needed to change her constitution to carry it safely, suggesting the rare freezing lotus as the solution. The freezing lotus was extremely rare, last seen 30 years ago at an auction, bought for a huge sum by someone anonymous. Chui Lai Na warned that without help, Xiaoyun wouldn't be able to suppress the cold, and it would explode in 3 months. She offered an alternative: use a great sealing skill to seal the bloodline, giving Zhao time to contact her later for the decision. The price for sealing, however, was that Zhao would never be able to level up again, and then the scene jumped forward 5 days. 5 days later, Zhao was shown shirtless, exercising outdoors with a massive scythe weapon, having completed his daily training tests. Having finished his physical missions, he got a reward choice and decided to take stat points most of the time for his daily quest reward. He explained that while constitution and intelligence are important for a Saint Knight, other stats also matter, so he used a 2-3-3-2 distribution method for balanced development. A notification popped up announcing the exam results and mission completion, congratulating him on first place in the Sukang district exam, with rewards to follow based on results. Zhao stood, looking powerful and confused about the multiple rewards flashing around him as he noticed them. He received congratulations for a 5-grade divine item, a 1-time mystery skill, a rare skill, and a good amount of free stat points and skill points. The news is spreading fast about the first place winner from Jianlai City. People are shocked because the top scorer was only level 10 when entering the realm, and it was a nightmare realm. This achievement caused such a big stir that it even created a divine phenomenon during his class awakening ceremony, signaling something great about him. Now it is headline news everywhere. Back where people are discussing the results, one person proudly states that he knew Ji would succeed as a Saint Knight, which is why he pushed the government to invest more in him. Others in the cafe are completely stunned that the first place is a Saint Knight, calling it a support class, and doubting he could clear a high-level realm so fast alone. Someone even wonders if he cheated, but another person confirms they have recordings proving it is real and very powerful. The viewer watches the recording where the power of the Holy Cross seems stronger than a high-tier mage's fire magic, leaving the audience asking how many buffs he actually has active. The clearance time flashes on the screen 9 minutes and 24 seconds, which is 20 seconds faster than another strong contender. Meanwhile, far away, a person with long red hair is watching the broadcast of Ji's achievement on TV, looking very unimpressed despite the record-breaking time. The red-haired individual mentions that Ji beat his time by 20 seconds and seems annoyed by it. He finds Ji interesting but is clearly upset that this newcomer dared to take away his honor. This slight on his honor makes the red-haired person angry, thinking that Ji is asking for trouble. He sits back, seemingly unbothered by the anger he just expressed, as a big shockwave effect happens behind him. Some time passes and Ji is seen walking alone on a path, checking his phone. His phone shows 2 large transfers from the Jianlai government, a reward of 5 million cash for his brilliant exam performance. Ji answers a call, asking Secretary Zhao what the problem is, clearly aware that the government rewards are coming. Secretary Zhao confirms the 5 million reward in a luxurious mansion, asking Ji if he has a preferred area for the house. Ji realizes they must have heard he was first place too, and tells Zhao to choose the mansion for him. Secretary Zhao then mentions that the recruitment teachers from the top 3 universities are already on their way to see Ji. Ji casually says there is no need to send a ride because they are already arriving. Ji greets someone who introduces himself as a recruitment teacher from Rongyang University. Ji remembers that Rongyang University once called him arrogant and ignorant. The teacher nervously explains that the previous recruiter, Zhao Tianfu, was fired for not seeing the truth. The Rongyang teacher immediately offers Ji 4 million if he joins their school, while a helicopter descends, presumably carrying another recruiter. A recruiter from Modu University dramatically jumps down from a rope ladder hanging from the helicopter, immediately doubling the offer to 8 million. The Modu University recruiter aggressively tells the others to leave immediately, claiming Modu University will have Ji. The Rongyang teacher is shocked and angered by the Modu recruiter's rude behavior. Suddenly, a woman with pink hair swoops in, holding Ji close, telling the others she will be taking him. Feathers and magical energy fill the air as the pink-haired woman appears with large wings, seemingly grabbing Ji. Someone yells, questioning if she even got permission from Qingjing University to take him like that. The woman from Qingjing University uses a powerful move to blast the other recruiters away into the grassy area. She leans close to Ji and tempts him, saying Qingjing University only has cultivation resources, but for 4 years he will get greater resources annually. The recruiter from Sukang University quickly steps in, claiming that whatever Qingjing offers in resources, history, and fame, Sukang can also provide. Another person shouts that kidnapping is wrong and tells the Qingjing woman to put Ji down, using the saying about making a horse drink water. The Modu recruiter rushes back, adding that Modu will give him grade A cultivation resources and a full set of golden grade equipment every year. The pink-haired woman tries to cover her actions by saying she wasn't kidnapping, just having a private chat with Ji, and then asks him to make his choice. Next, Su Mei-er from Sukang University steps forward, emphasizing that Sukang values strength above all else. Su Mei-er promises that if she ranks highly in Sukang Earth or Heaven rank, he can get grade S resources, pointing out Sukang's consistent wins in past freshman exchange contests as proof of their teaching ability. The Modu recruiter argues with Su Mei-er about her arrogance, but Su Mei-er counters that Sukang's wins are a fact that King Jing must work harder to match. Ji calmly thinks to himself that all three universities offer great conditions for a bright future, but he needs the one that suits him best for getting even stronger. He makes his decision, stating, "I choose," while the recruiters from King Jing and Modu look confused and shocked. Juyi declares he chooses Sukang University, which makes the Sukang recruiter smile proudly as a golden contract appears. Su Mei-er presents the special recruitment contract for him to sign, while the King Jing recruiter mutters that Sukang got ahead again, but offers him a place at King Jing anytime if he changes his mind. The Sukang recruiter calls the others stubborn assholes as Juyi looks determined, holding what seems to be the contract or a glowing item. Juyi points out the Sukang recruiter's staffless casting skill, which is usually for high-tier mages, and asks about her level. She reveals she is a level 42 second awakened mage. Juyi compliments her youthful appearance, and Su Mei-er tells him the world is big and Sukang has many powerful young people. Juyi feels energized, realizing that after getting his system, he needs strong opponents to get stronger faster. Su Mei-er senses his burning desire to fight, finding him interesting, and a magic circle appears as she finalizes the contract. Juyi agrees to sign, and the contract glows brightly, confirming the fulfilled contract. Su Mei-er tells Ji she will give him a week to pack and then take him there a week later, but Ji is surprised the semester starts so early. She explains that special recruits get the highest degree of cultivation training so their strength improves fast for the National Freshman Exchange Contest. The scene shifts to a grand, white building nestled among mountains, where Secretary Zhao and Sister King are arriving with Xiao Yun in a wheelchair. Xiao Yun is amazed by the sheer size of the room they enter. Xiao Yun happily points out a new nano-sensor caretaker machine to Sister King, who is by her side. Secretary Zhao proudly tells Ji that the mansion is 3 floors, with a training room and leisure area covering nearly 1,000 square meters. He tells Ji to rest with Miss Yu. As Secretary Zhao leaves, Ji stops him, saying he has a request. Ji asks Secretary Zhao to look after his sister, Xiao Yun, for some time because she is not fully healed, even though Sister King will stay with her. Zhao accepts, saying it is his honor. Xiao Yun looks excited while sitting in her new high-tech wheelchair. Sister King reminds Ji to make sure Xiao Yun takes her pills from Priestess Chu every week and has Sister King check her body daily. Juyi tells her to listen to Secretary Zhao regarding school arrangements. Xiao Yun plugs her ears, reacting to all the instructions with playful annoyance. Juyi gently touches Xiao Yun's head and assures her he heard everything. Then, someone asks Juyi if this is his first time traveling long distance. Juyi is now in a vehicle with the recruiter, Su Mei-er, who confirms it is his first time and tells him to be prepared. Juyi looks puzzled as the scene blurs with extreme speed. They seem to be using a large-scale magical transportation array, causing cars below to be tossed aside as they arrive rapidly. The blue magical light of the array continues to flash as they travel through what looks like a massive war. They arrive at Anning City, specifically Anning University, heralded by bright blue light enveloping a transportation device. Many vehicles are seen popping out of teleportation circles across the sky above a city area. The view zooms out to show many people gathering below where the teleportation points open and the landing is very fast. Juyi questions the recruiter why they needed to use teleportation magic if they were not short on time. Su Mei-er explains that large universities are usually under military control and Priestess Chu needed permission for a miniature array. But Sukang University works with the military and has a large, safe teleportation array near the school. Su Mei-er announces, "We're here," and Juyi looks out with wide eyes, exclaiming, "This at the view." Juyi is astonished by the sight of the university campus built into massive cliffs, shouting, "This is ridiculous." The view shows the majestic, golden-roofed main building of Sukang University tucked into the mountain landscape. Juyi stands in a huge courtyard filled with many diverse and powerful-looking individuals, including magical beasts, signaling he has arrived at a major hub of power. The group was told to check in, but one guy was clearly trying to cause trouble. The main character reacted immediately, sending out a powerful, glowing purple attack. This attack sent the troublemaker flying backwards, showing the hero's strength right away. Then, the female guide with long silver hair appeared, looking quite serious. Her outfit was striking, and she seemed ready for anything as she stood there. She clearly told the main character that she did not want to talk to that person who was just dealt with. Turning back, she warned the others that the kick was just a warning, and she wouldn't be easy if they bothered her again. Meanwhile, the person who got kicked, young Master Jen, was seen stuck headfirst in the ground, covered in dust. Other students watching whispered that Jen always tried to hit on juniors and finally got what he deserved. The hero noticed the magic patterns on the woman, realizing she had a demonic bloodline. He told her not to be surprised, as many people in University City had different bloodlines, but he wouldn't be hostile if they supported humanity. The woman confirmed she wouldn't hold a grudge against the whole demon race just because of her father's death, and then handed him his student ID with a glowing effect. The hero looked at the glowing ID, asking about his ranking and score. The guide started explaining the school's structure, starting with the ranking system, based on the entrance exam performance. She informed him that he was ranked number 001, the strongest of the freshman term, but this rank was temporary until a competition next month. Because he was number 1, everyone would target him now, but the hero confidently stated he wasn't planning to give up his first place. Next, she moved on to the score system, which freshmen receive based on their ranking. These scores could be used to buy meals, equipment, potions, and skill books. If he had enough scores, he could even get S-class skills and resources, and there were 2 other ways to earn scores besides ranking. The first way was through score missions available on the mission board, and the second was the Heaven and Earth rank, where people got fixed scores based on their standing. The guide warned him that with 5,000 students, many wanted to reach the Heaven and Earth rank, so he couldn't be arrogant. The hero simply replied that he understood, as they then arrived at a huge glowing portal leading into the first realm. She explained that Sukan University has 3 realms. The first is the Goblin Dungeon, for levels 17 to 21. The second realm is the Distorted Forest, for levels 23 to 26, and the third is Purgatory, for levels 28 to 31, with an image showing the fiery red third realm. She also mentioned that apart from the required level, students needed to spend scores to enter these realms. Looked up at training rooms where students were practicing against opponents that could be robots or real people to increase their level. As the explanation continued, they saw a fight happening below, where one student was easily defeated by another. The guide concluded that in SUU, the strongest person gets the most authority and resources, which is how the school survives. Hearing about this brutal survival system, the hero just smiled and said, "I like it." After the explanation, they met up with a group of seniors, and the guide received greetings. The group of seniors walked past, and immediately, some of the freshmen started whispering about the hero, wondering why a teacher was personally leading him. They compared their own induction, where seniors only led groups of 10, making the hero's treatment seem like a backdoor entry. A senior explained that special recruitment students get a specific teacher assigned to help them settle in and make it easier to recruit them into their houses later. The freshman realized he must be this term's number 1 and asked the informant student what he was like. The informant revealed the hero's name was Juyi, the district's first place, a level 13 Saint Knight. This caused an uproar because another top student, Shen Lingfang, was a level 14 berserker, and everyone was shocked how a Saint Knight surpassed him. Some people couldn't believe it, arguing that Saint Knights are only support classes, not strong enough to rank that high. The informant defended his information, saying he was handsome enough to be celebrity, and that he was indeed the first place among freshmen. A different student, Liu Jing, who was ranked 038, stepped forward, clearly unconvinced. Liu Jing claimed he suspected the number 001 rank was a fake and challenged the hero right then and there. The hero simply stood there, unbothered by the challenge. Liu Jing and his friends looked smug, ready for a fight. The challenger, Liu Jing, a level 13 punishment knight ranked 038, declared he was challenging the hero because he didn't have enough strength to be number 001. The teacher tried to stop the duel, calling it a waste of time, but Liu Jing yelled back, saying he was only earning 1 score for leading freshmen. The hero calmly told the teacher not to worry, he had it handled. Another student exclaimed that the rank was decided by the headmaster and 5 house teachers, so it couldn't be wrong, but the crowd was eager to watch the fight. The crowd commented that Liu Jing wanted to use the number 1 rank as a stepping stone, since Saint Knight wasn't considered a strong class. The hero then asked why he should even accept such a challenge. Liu Jing offered 100 scores if the hero won, and nothing if he lost, but the hero decided he needed to accept to make an example and be crueler so people would remember him. The hero then countered the bet, raising it to 300 scores and told Liu Jing, "I'll fight you." The guide looked concerned as the hero accepted the fight. Liu Jing looked stressed, realizing the hero was betting 300 scores. Onlookers noted that Liu Jing only had around 400 scores from his 038 rank, making a loss of 300 a heavy price, wondering if the hero was a foolish novel protagonist. The silver-haired guide watched the situation unfold with a stoic expression. Liu Jing taunted the hero, saying he would leave if the hero didn't have the guts to fight. The hero agreed to 300 scores and said, "Let's enter the ring." He then confidently stated that they didn't need a formal ring, setting a condition that if Liu Jing didn't fall to his knees in 3 moves, the hero would lose. The hero stood ready, glowing with power around his feet, prepared to end the fight quickly. The referee announced a countdown, telling the fighters they could start after 3 seconds and must not use any moves that would kill the opponent. The numbers count down from 3 to 1 as the 2 fighters, one with red hair and one with dark hair, stare intensely at each other. Right after the count ended, the red-haired fighter immediately lunged forward with great speed. It was explained that the punishment knight, which the red-haired guy seems to be, is similar to the Saint Knight as both come from hidden knight classes, but the punishment knight focuses on damage while the Saint Knight is for support. The attacker thought it would be easy if he attacked fast before the Saint Knight got any buffs. The attacker thought that after this fight, the girl would look at him differently, but then the focus shifts to the girl who seems unimpressed. The red-haired fighter then used his blood/skill, attacking with dark energy. He followed up with an aggressive command, urging his opponent to fall. The red-haired fighter unleashed a powerful downward strike with his sword. The dark-haired fighter braced himself, meeting the attack with a strong defense. The impact of the clash sent the red-haired attacker reeling backward from the force. The dark-haired fighter followed up the defensive move with a powerful kick, sending the first fighter flying. The red-haired opponent was clearly defeated, crashing down onto the ground. The impact of the fall was massive, causing rocks and debris to fly everywhere. The red-haired fighter sat up, heavily injured, bleeding from his mouth, as the dark-haired victor simply called the fight boring. The victor felt that the opponent was weak, thinking he had some hidden strength but couldn't even take one hit properly. A short while later, someone rushed to help the injured fighter, while others watched in the background. A person with glasses reported to a woman, stating that Liu Jing had broken 5 ribs and was bleeding internally, so he fainted. The woman calmly instructed them to let a priest heal him, and then a point transfer was confirmed, giving the victor 300 points onto his student card. Onlookers were shocked, noting that blocking the punishment knight's charge combined with blood slash with just a kick was amazing, concluding that the power of 001 was on a whole different level, estimating at least a 20-point difference in strength stats. The girl who was watching, identified as Yi, looked serious while others were clearly impressed. The focus shifted to Yi's impressive appearance and gear as she stood there. The dark-haired victor then approached Yi and asked her for a match. The victor realized he was too hasty earlier and now understood that Legacy was a high rank for weapons, almost like a legendary grade weapon, and he wanted to test its powers since it was his first time seeing one. Yi showed her weapon, the Dark Moon Ancient Sword, which was of legacy quality, limited to humans and swordsmen, with an unknown effect, and she agreed to the match by saying okay. A small floating drone appeared, likely for observation, as a crowd watched from below. The 2 fighters stood far apart on the arena, ready to begin their fight. The victor powered up his weapon, the Mystic Light Warhammer, which was gold quality and boosted constitution and wisdom, also increasing light elemental skills. Spectators commented that freshmen were fighting as soon as they entered the school, but others dismissed it as just a rookie spar. 2 other characters, Li Dongsheng and Aurora Club Captain, Level 29 Spearman and Miss Su, were talking while the countdown for the next match began. The drone announced begin. As the second fight started with a powerful ground strike, Ji charged in, her sword glowing with dark purple energy. She used skills like Shadow Slash and Typhoon Smash while the opponent prepared a move. The clash between their powerful light and dark energies created a massive explosion. The impact seemed evenly matched in the center of the collision. The powerful impact continued to rock the area. The girl was visibly struggling against the overwhelming pressure, acknowledging the monstrous strength of her opponent. Yi unleashed her demonic slash, covering her sword in dark elemental mana. The victor, now fully powered up with golden light from his buffs like Gift of God and Blessing of Dawn, seemed excited to face a worthy opponent. Ji pressed her attack, demanding another engagement. Their next massive clash generated huge shockwaves. The opponent was using a variety of powerful skills like uppercut, enhanced rapid stab, shockwave slash, and mountain-crushing hit, making the spectator wonder if these were really freshman skills. The weapons clashed again in a burst of purple and gold energy. The victor used his heavy warhammer to block Ji's dark sword attack head-on. The golden light from the victor's attack seemed to blast Ji away. The spectators watching were stunned by the sheer power displayed in the fight. A group of onlookers expressed their shock, questioning if this was truly just a fight between two students. One knowledgeable person stated that without a trump card, the spiritual swordsman Ji would lose soon, but another questioned this, saying they looked equally matched. The woman used enhanced block, which improved her ability to absorb frontal damage, but it was still a huge strain as she had to block more attacks now than before. It was explained that heavy weapon users usually fight defensively to conserve stamina, waiting for an opening, but the victor showed no sign of holding back, suggesting he was either foolish or supremely confident. The victor's relentless aggression was limiting the movement of the swordsman, forcing her to constantly defend against the warhammer. The victor was noted for fighting without holding back, even against such a beauty. Ji recovered and took a strong stance, enveloped in dark energy. The victor announced he was done warming up, surrounded by intense golden light and system notifications for his buffs like Gift of God, Weapon Blessing, Blessing of Dawn, and Gift of Protection. This power-up sequence showed the full extent of his enhancements. Victor brought down his hammer with immense power, declaring this was his true strength, which shocked Ji. As the light from the hammer struck, the victor unleashed a powerful move called Spear of Victory. Ji countered with Phantom Sash, a rapid dash and a move. The golden attack from the hammer met Ji's dark purple attack in a massive collision. The victor grinned, stating he knew she would use that move, implying he predicted her defense. Ji was surprised, wondering when he figured out her strategy. The victor followed through with his light-infused heady swing, connecting with Ji. Ji looked defeated as the golden energy pulsed around her, and someone asked if she wanted to continue. She looked up with a somewhat dazed expression as the victor stood tall, glowing faintly under what looked like falling light or stars. The victor stood confidently, resting on his warhammer shaft, looking completely victorious. Ji admitted that the results would be the same against such overwhelming aggression and refused to continue. She then pointed out that he didn't go all out either, mentioning she saw his exam video where he held back his swordsman skills and dark elemental power. Ji smiled brightly, saying it was just a spar, so of course she wouldn't use her trump card, adding that she saw his exam video, implying he also held back. She then suggested adding each other and sparring again sometime, leaving the victor looking thoughtful.